All right, everybody, buckle up because today we're diving deep into the world of bandsaw operators.
Saw operators.
You know what? I always pictured it as kind of like, just cutting stuff in half.
Right.
But our listener sent in some info from RoleCatcher, and it's way more interesting than I thought.
Yeah, it really is fascinating.
So let's get into it. What exactly does a bandsaw operator do?
Well, at its core, a bandsaw operator is a skilled craftsperson who uses a bandsaw to cut materials,
Okay.
primarily to create irregularly shaped parts.
Okay, so not just straight lines then.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Think about it. You see those intricate curves in custom furniture?
Oh, yeah.
Or even the gears in your car's transmission?
Right. Those are crazy complicated.
Exactly. Those are often the handiwork of a skilled bandsaw operator.
Oh, okay. My mind is already blown. So it's like precision engineering meets artistic vision.
Absolutely. You could say that.
This is so cool. So I was looking through the RoleCatcher guide our listener sent in, and they break down the day-to-day tasks. And there's some really interesting stuff in there. Can you give us a glimpse into what a typical day might look like for a bandsaw operator?
Sure. So imagine this. You walk into the workshop,
Okay.
and the first thing you do is you're not just grabbing any old blade.
Right.
You're prepping the bandsaw. You're making sure the blade is tensioned just right.
Oh, wow. So there's like a setup process?
Oh, absolutely. It's
Okay.
crucial. It's kind of like tuning a musical instrument.
Okay.
You want that perfect sound, or in this case, the perfect cut.
I'm starting to understand the attention to detail here.
Absolutely. Then you've got your technical drawings.
Oh, right, like blueprints.
Exactly. And you're interpreting those to figure out the exact cuts needed for that specific project.
So each project is unique.
Every single one. And here's where it gets even more interesting. You have to adjust your technique based on the material.
Oh, right, because like wood cuts differently than metal.
Exactly. You
Yeah.
got it. So you're constantly thinking about the feed rate, the type of blade you're using.
Wow, so it's not just like one size fits all.
Not at all. It's a
Yeah.
very dynamic process.
That makes a lot of sense. It's way more involved than I ever realized. RoleCatcher also really emphasized the importance of safety in this role. Can you talk a bit about that?
Oh, absolutely. Safety is paramount in this field. You're working with powerful machinery, often with very tight tolerances.
Right. One slip up could be really bad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you need to be constantly alert and follow all safety protocols meticulously.
Yeah.
And then there's the work environment itself.
Okay.
It can be loud, potentially dusty, depending on what materials you're working with.
Yeah, that's true.
You need stamina and focus to thrive in that kind of setting.
So it's not just about physical strength, but also mental resilience.
You've got it. It's a career that demands both physical and mental agility.
That's really interesting.
Mm.
And speaking of careers, RoleCatcher outlines 3 main stages for bandsaw operators: entry-level, junior, and senior.
Right.
Let's break those down a bit. What are the key differences between these stages?
Okay, so an entry-level operator is just starting out. Think of them like an apprentice. They're learning the ropes, maybe assisting more seasoned operators.
Got it. So it's a lot of learning and observing.
Exactly. They're building that foundational knowledge, learning how to set up the saw, make basic cuts, and of course those all-important safety procedures.
So even at the entry level, there's a lot to learn.
Absolutely. Then as you gain experience and confidence, you move into that junior operator role.
Okay.
Now you're handling more of the process independently, tackling more complex cuts, troubleshooting minor issues. You're becoming proficient, building your own style.
I like that, developing your own style. It's like any craft, you start by learning the rules, then you figure out how to put your own spin on things.
Exactly. Sure.
Yeah.
You really do. And that's what takes you to that senior operator level.
Okay, so what does it take to reach the top of the bandsaw game?
Senior operators, they're the mentors, the problem solvers, the ones who really get it.
So they've seen it all.
Pretty much. They might oversee entire projects from start to finish, collaborate with engineers on designs, even train those entry-level operators we were talking about.
So there's room not just for technical mastery, but also leadership and creativity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This isn't a one-dimensional field at all. And, while we're talking about getting into this line of work,
Yeah, let's talk about how someone actually lands one of these bandsaw gigs. What do you need to get started?
well, RoleCatcher really emphasizes practical experience above all else.
Okay, that makes sense. But how do you get experience if you've never had one of these jobs before?
That's the age-old question, isn't it?
Right. It's like a catch-22.
Exactly. But you got to get creative. Think outside the traditional job boards. Look into apprenticeships, maybe at a local machine shop,
Oh, that's a good idea.
or volunteer for projects that involve woodworking or metal fabrication.
So, like, even building something for your portfolio at a makerspace could give you an edge.
Exactly. Show them what you can do. Document those projects. Showcase your skills. And RoleCatcher actually suggests sharing your work on platforms like LinkedIn or even Instagram.
Visual proof of your abilities.
Precisely. It's a visual world out there,
Yeah.
and don't underestimate the power of networking.
Oh, yeah, meeting people who are already in the field.
Exactly. RoleCatcher highlights events like the International Woodworking Machinery and Furniture Supply Fair. Have you heard of it?
The IWF, I've heard of it. It's like a giant trade show, right?
Yeah, it's huge. It's a fantastic opportunity to connect with potential employers, see the latest tech, learn from the best in the business.
It's like a dream come true for bandsaw enthusiasts.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And hey, while we're on the topic of connecting with people, those online communities can be gold mines of information.
True forums, social media groups, all that good stuff.
Exactly. Full of experienced operators who are usually more than happy to share advice and insights.
That's awesome. Okay, so we've covered experience networking, building a portfolio, anything else aspiring bandsaw operators should be thinking about. What about certifications?
Yes, certifications. They're an interesting one. They're not always mandatory, but they can definitely give you a leg up.
Right, kind of like a stamp of approval that says you know your stuff.
Exactly. It shows you're serious about your craft and that you've met certain industry standards.
Yeah.
Now, RoleCatcher doesn't mention specific certifications.
Okay.
They do point to some great resources like the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers.
The IAAI,
Yep.
that's the one.
So it's about doing your homework, finding the certifications that align with your goals.
Absolutely. And using them to demonstrate your expertise to potential employers. It all ties back to that commitment to continuous learning.
I like that. Always be learning. Speaking of which, there's one more big thing we need to talk about. It's kind of the elephant in the room.
Oh, I think I know what you're going to say. Automation.
Exactly. With all the advancements in technology, it's got to be on the minds of anyone considering this career path.
It's a huge topic.
Yeah.
And it's understandable that people have questions, concerns, even. It's like, will robots replace bandsaw operators altogether, or is there still going to be a need for humans?
It's a question I hear a lot. And to be honest, there's no easy answer.
Right.
Technology is always evolving. But here's the thing. I don't think it's about replacement. It's about evolution.
Okay, so instead of robots taking over, it's more like the job itself is changing.
That's a great way to put it.
What do you think about it?
Machines are great at repetition. Give them a simple cut to make, and they'll do it flawlessly 1,000 times over.
Yeah, but...
But what happens when something unexpected comes up? A flaw in the material, a sudden change in the design.
That's where humans come in.
Exactly. Machines aren't good at thinking on their feet. They need those precise instructions. Humans, on the other hand, we can adapt.
So that human element, the ability to problem solve, that's still going to be important.
Absolutely. A skilled operator can look at a piece of material, understand its nuances, and adjust their technique accordingly. They can feel the resistance of the saw, anticipate problems before they even arise.
That makes sense. You can't really program instinct into a machine.
Exactly. And that's what it boils down to, instinct experience, that sixth sense that only comes from years of working with your hands.
It's like that saying, the more things change, the more they stay the same.
I like that.
Yeah.
Because in a way, it's true. Even with all the advancements in technology, the human touch, that craftsmanship, it's still going to be valued.
So for someone just starting out in this field, what's the most important thing to keep in mind?
Don't be afraid to embrace the technology. Learn the fundamentals, of course, but also stay curious about the new tools, the new techniques.
So it's like a blend of old school craftsmanship and cutting-edge technology.
Exactly. It's the best of both worlds. And that's what makes this career path so exciting. You're always learning, always growing.
Well said. That's a great note to end on. So there you have it, folks. A deep dive into the world of bandsaw operators. We've covered a lot of ground today, from the day-to-day tasks to the impact of automation. And one thing is clear. This is a career path with staying power.
Couldn't agree more.
For our listener, we hope you found this journey as fascinating as we did. Remember, the future belongs to those who are willing to learn, adapt, and maybe get their hands a little dirty in the process. Until next time, keep exploring those career paths that spark your curiosity. You never know where they might lead you.